So, welcome everyone to this interview with the producers Moonshine. And Moonshine, for those who haven't watched any of our past interviews with you, can you introduce yourselves, please?
I'm Jonathan.
I'm Ludwig.
And together we're a production team Moonshine. We're K-pop producers. We've been working with this for quite a while, making a lot of songs for acts such as Red Velvet, NCT,
Super M.
Super M,
Twice.
of course, Twice.
Yeah. And a lot more.
Yeah, and a lot more to that. Happy making music, and thanks for having us here.
Yeah, again.
Of course. Yeah, we're super excited to dive into all the tracks you have created for Super M. So for the fans watching this, basically we're just going to go in order from Supercar to One Monster Plus Infinity, and let us know in the comments if you have any extra questions for Moonshine. Maybe we'll have another catch-up interview in the future. So let's start off with Supercar.
Must be the best.
My question starts off with the very beginning of the song, whereas the car engine sound. I was wondering if that was a sample sound that you purchased, or if you guys ever just walk around with a microphone and record random noises to use in your songs.
Really good question. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's like a synth. Or maybe that's a sample.
I think that's a sample that we cut in. Like originally the song was called Driftin', which kind of like we had that same kind of concept. They changed the title in then, but when writing the entire song, we usually do this to kind of get the inspiration for our songs. We put up something like, we had this TV in the studio when we wrote it, and we put up some kind of like Tokyo drift kind of videos of just like people drag racing in the city, like Neon City kind of vibes, and that kind of put in the entire vibe. So therefore, not only because of the lyrical concept, but also because of the sound, it's I don't know, it has a very, very big essence of speed, and therefore I guess we were just like trying to go all in on that concept by having like those motor sounds in there fused with the basses as well.
Yeah, exactly. Also, to answer your questions, we rarely record sounds like outside the studio. We record a lot of stuff in our studio. Then there's also like a lot of great places online where you can buy stuff that people have recorded. I know there's a lot of like different like engine revving sounds, and we have some sirens and car horns and all crazy stuff in the song.
Yeah.
So when you have a repeated instrumental line that keeps changing sound, like the da da dun dun da 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 da. I know you talked about stacking various patches together before, but when it keeps changing, do you sort of have different stacks that you just switch between, or do you kind of have one overall stack and then you're just automating a lot of details either within those patches or how they're balanced to keep it changing throughout a song?
I think like there's usually like the final stack. There's usually like this is the in the chorus, like this is the full spectrum, and then it's oftentimes just a matter of like putting stuff in and out, but also a lot of automation going on just with like reverb tails and delays and filters. So it's like a combination of all the above, I would say.
Okay.
When we produce, we usually, sit and kind of combine those sounds. Like we have almost every single time we've done 50% of all of the soundscaping, all of the production in the final product. But when it comes to a song like Supercar, for example, we probably have half of those stacks being just wave files. So therefore it makes it kind of easy to like, okay, so second verse, what should we go for here? Then we can just cut in like one single wave file that's a part of that stack.
And just to be clear, he means like we produce it like on on one computer each with like headphones, and then we put it together. Okay. So what you mean is like if which was the case in Supercar, I was not the one having like the final project. I was like more doing stuff on the side.
Yeah.
So when I give files to you, it's really easy for you to like take my WAV files and just chop it up and just do weird stuff with it.
Yeah.
Which makes it easier.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And cut in between the different sounds.
Okay. Thanks.
Last question for Supercar. I was really curious, what were your reactions when you saw the choreo for the first time, and did you know that like Taemin's move with the went viral and stuff?
No, actually, we didn't, and we actually didn't really expect much to come from that song because usually they don't really promote the B-sides that much. We were happily like surprised when we saw they performed it live, and they of course put it into their live repertoire. I love the choreo. I think also it's like just this perfect moment of Lucas and Kai coming in the very end as well, being a part of the entire song. Like that's so dope, and seeing how, like I think they've got a really interesting synergy, like all those members working together, and they complement each other very well, I think. Especially in Supercar.
Yeah, it's always super fun to watch.
Yeah, and especially like interesting to see, like, of course Taemin comes from SHINee. They've done some kind of like more like aggressive kind of sounds, but it's very interesting seeing him working with that kind of sound, because I hadn't really seen, especially him, like, you know, of course like EXO and NCT comes from the more like aggressive nature, like EXO doing like Monster and I don't know, Obsession for example, and then NCT doing just NCT.
Yeah, I mean Supercar is a very, I mean, I don't think that's a secret. We did Supercar before Super M was like at least brought up to us.
Yeah.
We didn't know that Super M existed or was about to exist when we wrote the song. So we wrote it very much for NCT.
Yeah.
And then like, yeah, so like it's really fun to hear these other members from other bands do that kind of sound. We really like it.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, I very much agree. It just shows the flexibility versatility that each member has. All right, so for Tiger Inside, so how did you guys manage to create such a catchy song with such a dissonant interval repeating throughout? I remember you mentioned to me that before it was kind of like a puzzle for the whole thing to come together. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah. like it's kind of hard like recalling exactly how the process goes, because like once you're in that kind of cloud, then you're just coming out and you all of a sudden have a finished song. So like I think we worked on that song for maybe like 3 days, like in total.
Yeah, but very spread out.
Yeah, I remember I was here in the studio late at night sketching things, and then Alexander, who is in the studio right next to here, he just dropped by like, what is this? Like I have this instant like da 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 da, like he was just basically following the bass line I had, and I think he had the chorus melody there as well. Then like I gotta give it to Alex, like he did a really good job, like painting with all those melodies, and you know, on such a simple idea as the track was, he just took that small like loop and wrote the entire song on it basically. And then I think you came in and you were really good at structuring everything up and like let's take things away here.
I think I had the benefit of not hearing, because you did it really late at night on the like bar, and Alex just did the top line, and I was like the first one who came in with like, I haven't heard anything. So I just think we like structured it up.
Yeah.
And then to be honest, like the song was almost done then we just spent like one more day on that middle late thing, because we were just like no, it needs to be epic. And so Alex like had a really good make. We're like, no, it needs to be more, and he was like, okay, I give you more, I will give you so much more. And then he just came back with like this amazing first part, and we were like, and then we need rap, and I was like, yeah.
I remember I was like, isn't that like kind of pushing it too far? And it's like, no, let's do this.
No,
like,
we need more.
Like I'm really not feeling this, and they're like, no, like we promise this is going to be so good. And it's like when everything was done, I was like, okay, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And we were curious about some of the samples in the song. What is the original sample or process for creating the metallic sounds in the first chorus, like under Kai's part, about 25 seconds into the MV?
Here.
Isn't that just a down-pitched tambourine?
Yeah, I think so. It's a down pitched tambourine, goes like,
Yeah.
and it's also
It's
combined.
pitched.
It's combined with some kind of metallic synth going. Da, 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 da. So that arp combined with that tambourine is what kind of makes this big kind of mass of
Chunk.
big chunk of metallic madness.
That's awesome. When you were first creating Tiger Inside, did you already have in your mind like, oh, I want this to be about tigers and getting ready to eat food?
The original song is not necessarily about tigers. But I think we can say this. The song in concept are very close to the final song. But what they really brought forward, which was super smart and we didn't think about, is like they wanted the song, Super M, that is, wanted the song to represent like Korea and Korean culture. And for them, tiger is like it's like their national.
Yeah, it's the landmark, like just
Yeah.
like the falcon is to the US, or is it the falcon?
What are we? I don't.
Bald eagle.
Bald
Yeah,
eagle. Bald
yeah.
eagle.
Oh,
Yeah, the
So-
eagle.
I think we're
yes.
eagle.
So our song was like about like the jungle and like all of that, but the original title wasn't Tiger Inside.
I don't know, but like we got Alex next to the studio, so if you have any like lyrical questions, we can just bring him in for like a minute or two if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, if he's free.
Of course,
Yeah,
it's
I can,
give
come
us a
up with
second
some
and we'll go and see.
Okay. Okay. Improv time.
Look who we found!
Whoa!
Nice to meet you. Thank you for the school.
Hi.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Okay, so Moonshine were just updating us on how the original song Tiger Inside was jungle-esque, and then it was Super M and SM Entertainment that came to you guys to ask to switch it over to a tiger. What elements of the instrumental made you decide to go with this kind of jungle concept?
The entire dum 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 do 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 dum dum. For me, that it almost sounded like if that was in a child's sort of show, it would be it would be Swiper from Dora the Explorer, right? That was no, but it would. And that was the image I had in my head. That was the first thing. It was this image of sort of bushery and something dangerous.
Yeah,
And that was where it started, and then it built on after that.
it was so much fun making that song.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think off the top of my head on lyrics, sorry.
All good, all good.
No problem. Thanks so much for coming in so last minute. It's super interesting.
Absolutely. My studio is literally right next door, so it's not a long walk.
Did you just hear the track and then you just like popped your head in originally?
Yeah.
And you're just like, I have ideas.
No, so yeah, literally, because I can hear them through the wall. So I heard Jonathan messing around with this thing, and I came in like, dude, I have an idea. Hear me out. Hear me out. And then he was like, yeah. And then we made it.
Wow. Thank you so much. Yeah, those were the questions that I could come up with, and thanks for guesting. We'll make sure to feature you again in the future.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yay!
All right.
Take care and
Take care. I'm out of here.
Seeing you
Good
again.
seeing you, Jess.
yeah. Well, that's spontaneous.
Thanks so much for that. Okay, we're going back to one more question about the sound, so you might have to whip out your phone again, Ludwig. So the sound I was curious about is during the dinner's ready part, where it kind of sounds like actual like plastic utensils like hitting the table. I was curious what the original source for that was.
The one that's dubbing the dinner's ready, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that one I think we can explain in good detail. That sound we've used before and maybe not gonna use it again. So I think we need to give a bit credit to like the original creator.
Yeah.
So it's very inspired by this EDM producer called Nightmare. And he has this he does those plucks a lot of times where it's like he just layers like tonal snares, a lot of like different like percussive sounds with tones in it. And he puts like weird effects on it that makes it kind of like shift in frequency up and down. So it's like we try to copy one of his like sounds. So it's basically that sound we just played on top of the melody. So it's basically like 8 different snares with a lot of weird processing, just playing the keys.
Yeah, like shifting between like different octaves and also
Yeah.
kind of flamming in between, so you don't get that like the impact on the exact same time. You get that kind of like almost like glittery sound, but if you pitch down the glitter to be like become like dark and a bit more aggressive.
Oh, gotcha. Because I was wondering if you added that in to sound like silverware or dinnerware after the lyrics came, or if that was just originally there trying to, I guess, maybe represent drums.
Yeah, I mean, the fun thing about that sound is it's a cool mix between like a very percussive but still tonal element. And I know, like, we actually just talked about this in another interview, just with like K-pop. You know, like the concept is often very clear with like the top line. The song is often about a very clear subject, and like we really try to make the productions also reflect that. And I think like with Super M, like Supercar and this, like I think it's a good example of when you really try to get into it. And like when Alex came up with like this jungle theme, I think we thought a lot about the Tarzan song, like crashing the camp.
Yeah.
You remember that Phil Collins made that is like, you know, they
Oh, maybe
That one, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So like that song is so cool because they use a lot of like in the movie it's just like the elephants and monkeys just find silverware and all these crazy things in a
Cutlery,
camp, and that's what like they make the music out of. So I think we took some inspiration from that and really tried to make like a very like jungly, like, you know, weird sounds. Just make it that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I think that's why we came up with that idea, to make it sound kind of like silverware or like boxes hitting each other. Just that kind of vibe.
It seems like you guys started writing Tiger Inside before you knew it was going to be for Super M. Is that right?
Yeah. I think that's one of those songs because like we like the recent year we've been focusing like more specifically towards certain artists. I think in this case we were more open. It's one of those rare cases where we actually just make a good song, and as long as we feel like it's a good song, we have our hopes up for it actually fitting for a certain act. And in this case we were happily surprised that Super M wanted the song. So this wasn't really, this just came out of a midnight session and just pure vibe and nothing, you know, like reading it, a lead sheet or something and like, okay, they want this and this and this. This was just purely, this is cool, and let's just do it, basically.
Yeah, because a lot of fans in the comment section mentioned that Tiger Inside kind of sounds like a cross of EXO's Overdose and Wolf, NCT's Simon Says, and Limitless with sprinkles and of Shiny as well. And I remember back when we interviewed you during our NCT Dream write-in reaction, you said that you had been studying NCT sound a lot. So I was wondering if you have been doing the same for EXO and Shiny, and what elements of their music do you make sure to include in, if you know you are writing for Super M, like what parts of their sound you make sure to include?
I think there are many small things that makes those acts like unique, like compared to one another. But I think especially like writing for Super M, I think the most important part is actually making a very distinctive sound just for Super M as an act, because like of course you gotta take into account that Shiny is all about those open big choruses. You got EXO that really has, I don't know, they're very versatile. Like
EXO is
yeah.
we have when we write for EXO, or like when we're asked to write for EXO, because EXO has done everything from like summery, like almost like Jamaican kind of music, to like, you know, Monster, to Obsession. Like it's so hard to know what they're gonna do next, so like you need to know what they're doing.
Making like the next song for EXO is always like reinventing the wheel. like you can think whatever you want of like any of their songs, but you gotta agree that they're always so good at just pushing the boundaries and trying new stuff out.
Yeah.
I don't really think there's any other acts actually like pushing those limits as hard as EXO
Yeah,
does.
like daring to do something new every time. I mean, that's cool of them that they dare to do that.
That was very brave as well.
But but like just in general, when you're writing for, you have to take into account what you're writing for. But like, still K-pop, especially like girl bands and guy bands, they have a specific like formula almost. So with Tiger Inside, I think we just felt that there would be a lot of bands that could do this song because it has singing, it has rapping, the mixture is like quite even distributed for having like 1 or 2 rappers in a band. It would be a good song for that.
Yeah.
And you could also choose to do it. I mean, the Super M guys really did it as we did it in the demo, but you could have sung the parts more singy or more rappy. I mean, you could have like taken a creative decision to like sing the parts more or rap the parts more.
Yeah.
Because it is pretty like atonal, but it still has tones.
Yeah. Well, in the end of the day, I strongly feel like the song didn't become a Super M song till Super M actually sang it, because that's where they put in all their colors and they really make it their own. I'm so satisfied with like how the end result and their vocal performance, and you know, like also like the sounds, like not even knowing about Korean, like I think that the Korean lyrics sounds just sonically very, very cool as well.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think it's like, to me, I'm so proud of that song, and I'm so happy that Super M ended up doing it, because they really took it to another level by, you know, every single member of Super M is just crazy talented.
Yeah.
And it's just an honor to you know, have made a song that they actually made their own, and that's so I don't know.
Yeah, but it's also always so cool when they take one of your songs, which is like, you know, a demo we did with Alex here in that basement in Stockholm, and you see them perform it live on this crazy LED stage. You know, just realizing how much they spent practicing just the dancing or like the singing, like the amount of work they put into that song. It's like it outweighs our effort put in, but like by like 100. Like they spend so much time perfecting that, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
The next few songs we'll be talking about were written during an online songwriting camp. How do the online songwriting camps differ from in-person songwriting camps?
How do you know that?